So good afternoon, everybody. It is another Friday lunchtime here in the UK. It's time for episode number 36 of Jonnychipz Weekly. Back to school. Let's jump straight on in. So, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing really well on this Friday lunchtime over in the UK or wherever else it may be for you in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or afternoon, or evening. Hope you're having a great Friday. Gearing up for the weekend. Obviously, it's September, and I know most places, certainly in the UK, all the kids go back to school, and it ties in with a fantastic community event that we've got kicking off this month as well. So, the title of this video is Back to School, because I think, in more ways than one, we are at that point in the year where it feels a little bit like we need to start learning new stuff. I mean, to be honest, it feels like that most of the time anyway. But hence, the title of this video is Back to School. So, usual format this week, community call-outs. We'll jump on over and have a look at the Azure news and updates for the week with some roving reporters. And we will check out what's going on in the wonderful world of the Welsh Azure user group before we have a little look-see about what's going on with Jonnychipz on the side. So, without further ado, let's jump on over to those community call-outs. Okay, yes, so, as the title of this video is, I've politely borrowed the title Back to School off my good friend Dwayne Natwick. Obviously, it's back to the Azure Back to School event that's kicked off this month of September. Obviously, Dwayne has got an action-packed month of content coming your way from some fantastic people right across the community worldwide, covering everything from Azure to 365 actually this year. I know Dwayne was saying that he's kind of broadened the scope of the actual technology area. So if you're not following that or you're not aware of that, go and check that out right now, azurebackToschool.tech, and you can see the schedule there. As it happens, it's day 3, and myself and my good friend Chris Wright actually recorded a video a week or so ago on Azure Edge video analytics using the Jetson Nano and the Azure IoT platform. So yeah, go and check that out. It's a bumper episode. I think we were pushing 2 hours long. So yes, you can have a little look-see and skip through some of the sections in that. So it was good fun, huge fun recording that with Chris, and obviously thanks to Dwayne for putting that out as part of the Azure Back to School. So moving on. Yes, the cloud management community have been growing fantastically well over the last 6 months since they started with their YouTube channel. They've obviously got the cloud management community user group meetups, and I know the guys are changing the way that meetup is going to be working now over the coming months, with their first meetup event being scheduled for the 14th of September. Go and follow the team over at the _CM community on Twitter. There's a new way. So you can browse to their website and actually sign up for that event here. So it looks like their actual video attendees is filled up at the moment, but you can still sign up using Eventbrite to get a ticket to obviously be part of that, and you'll get entered into a prize draw. So go and give the guys a follow. Fantastic stuff that they've got going on over at the cloud management community. So yeah, go and follow them, support them in their endeavours for the new format of how they're going to actually broadcast and schedule some of these community events, and obviously support them from a YouTube point of view. They're putting out some fantastic content on that channel. So go and take a look. And on that note, big shout out to one of the co-organisers there, Mr. Dean Ellaby. Happy birthday. It is your birthday today, so I thought I'd give you a quick shout out there with a cake and some candles. How's that? Moving on, so Mr. Carl Cook, co-organiser of the LDNA, just their next event on the 22nd of September. If you are looking to learn a little bit more about Cosmos DB, some advanced and some optimization bits and pieces, so go and take a look at that. We've got Oren at the LDNA on the 22nd of September. Put that in your calendar. Go and give the guys and gals some support over at that user group. So yeah, so it's limerick.net. Like I say, if you're interested in learning more about Cosmos DB, put that in your calendar. Go and sign up RSVP to that event. Thanks, Carl. And moving on, we've got the WVD/AVD community newsletter is now live. So if you're not following the team over at, well, there's still WVD community on Twitter, go and give them a follow. They release these blog posts weekly, I believe. I think they're weekly newsletters. Go and give them a follow. Go and join in the fun and the community spirit and go and check that out. And yes, finally, we have IoT Live. Good friends Pete and Cliff are coming back on Tuesday the 7th, so next Tuesday. So hugely excited for that one. They've got a special guest, Maria Anastasia will be joining them, and possibly others too. So that sounds like that's going to be a whole heap of fun there. So yeah, go and put that in your calendar as well. Looking forward to that show coming back over on the Azure Live Twitch.tv channel. So go and give the guys some support on that. That would be superb. And sticking with what Pete's got going on at the moment, I've noticed Pete is, reinvigorating his blog series by looking at this Octopus Deploy, deploying a Blazor application to Azure with Octopus Deploy. And I believe he's looking to turn this into a series of blog posts and YouTube videos as well. So go and give Pete some support there. Go and check those out if they are of interest to you. Thanks, Pete. And moving on. So yeah, my good friend Elkhan reached out to me just to kind of make me aware that he was kind of coming back doing a bit more blogging at the moment. So go and check out his Cloud Marathoner's Journey blog website. So you'll find some cool information in there right the way, covering all the plethora of Azure bits and pieces. So yeah, Elkhan's done a fantastic job there in kind of getting his thoughts and tech topic areas together and pushing them out through his blog. So go and take a little look at that. It's on the cloudmarathoner.com. Go and give Elkhan some support and let him know if you've got any comments or feedback. Then I'm sure he's all open to that. So yeah, huge thanks to that, Elkhan. And I believe Elkhan may be joining me later as a little bit of a roving reporter. So thanks, Elkhan. Moving on. This caught my eye. I did listen to this cloudskills.io episode number 127, which is effectively Mike Pfeiffer talking about your own career and how you should be managing that career as more or less like a business rather than just something that you might do to kind of try and please or keep people happy. And it was a really insightful episode, to be honest. So if you've not listened to that, I do encourage you to go and have a little listen, especially if you are in the situation where you're looking to progress your career or take your career in a different direction. There's some absolutely fantastic insights and tips that Mike has to offer in this episode. Hence why I retweeted it, because I was listening to it and it looked like, as you listen to Mike talk through some of the insights and the kind of the view of the world with career, it did resonate personally with me on a lot of occasions. So retweeted that out. So yeah, huge thanks to Mike for giving that talk, and go and take a listen if you haven't already done so. Okay, next point. Yes, it's the working from home setup and background awards. I made it through. I'm quite chuffed, actually. I got tweeted. Izzy messaged me yesterday, put the tweet out. I made it through to the next stage, which is basically I've managed to get through the section of the judging panel. So they've picked, I believe, half a dozen or so entries into so they've got the front view, which is this view that you can see here. They picked half a dozen entries to get through to the next round. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's from Orin. But no, I mean, in fairness, all of these setups are awesomely cool. I just love the whole lights, the whole, items on your bookshelf, and, gives you away a little bit of your character and what you've got going on. So you've got the front face, and then you've got the background awards as well. So there's some absolutely fantastic background displays there. So yeah, that's out. So the next stage is actually they're looking for people to go on and vote. So I'm not trying to influence you in any way, but you need to remember which video you're on at the moment. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But no, in all seriousness, it's a bit of fun. But it's great to see and fantastic initiative from Izzy and the guys and gals that are the judging panel. So Holly, Gregor, Richard, and Izzy have kind of put this together. This is hosted on Izzy's website at the moment. Huge thanks to those guys for getting involved and doing something fun across the community and getting, it's really about inspiration and ideas for other people if they are working from home a bit more now, just to get some ideas and bits and pieces that you might want to try and introduce into your own home setup. So really cool to see some fantastic home setups there. So yeah, like I say, thanks for pushing me through to the next round on that one. big shout out to James Cook. He's won the Cloud Family Community Champion for September. So massive well done to James. I know he's been hugely active over the last sort of few months with some of the initiatives that he's got set up across the social media, and how he's been a huge part of the community himself. So yeah, well deserved award there from the Cloud family. Well done, James. Yeah, keep up the fantastic work. And yeah, on that note, it's since I received the MVP award at the beginning of August, it was really fantastic to see on a couple of days back. The MVP awards get announced monthly on the first of each month, and yeah, it was great to see some of those community members that I've been close to, I guess, over the last year, 18 months or so, where we've been on a very similar journey, I guess is probably fair to say. So, to see people like May, fantastic, absolutely thoroughly deserved. And, she's pointed out herself who's the first Saudi female MVP. So huge congratulations to May, thoroughly deserved. I know I've called May out on several occasions. I've had her on the In Conversation With video series that I do. She's just a fantastic, charismatic, member of our community, doing some fantastic things with the Power Suite. So if you're not following May or seeing what she's putting out there, go and give her a follow and some support in everything that she's doing, because it's fantastic. And equally, my good friend Shabazz, we first chatted. It's got to be pushing a year ago or so now. So fantastic to see that that Shabazz has obviously been awarded this MVP awards in enterprise mobility. Huge efforts and really hugely valuable member of our community, and fantastic to see that he's got the recognition from Microsoft for all the good, fantastic effort he's been putting in, and the great content. So and the support across the community as well. It's just, I can't put it into words. Now there have obviously been a lot of other people that I know, but I just wanted to pick up on those two, May and Shabazz, because I've been kind of watching their journey as well as going through my own journey, and it really is a nice kind of heartwarming feeling to see others getting that accolade, which they so rightly deserve. So big shout out, and of course everybody that got renewed, got their MVP for the first time. I'm still in a little bit of a state of shock with my own nomination and awards, so it's just a nice kind of warm fuzzy feeling. We give each other high fives and hugs, but yeah, genuinely is appreciated everything that people do, and well done to everybody that got the award this month as well, of course. So moving on from there, I noticed Ryan tweeted this out. I didn't realise Ryan had actually got a book out there on MSIX App Attach. So he's pointed out it's actually in the 50 top bestsellers list on Amazon. So, in the virtualization category. So if you are looking to learn a little bit more about Introduction to MSI App Attach, go and check that out. Go and give Ryan some support. Go and check out that book and see if you can get yourself a copy of it. So, great to point that out, Ryan. So, fantastic. Go and check that out and see if that's of use to you guys. So, cool to see. Next one, back to James. So James has been doing a weekly DevOps journey with some YouTube shorts. I know everybody's trying out these new different techniques and technologies and ways of delivering content. Obviously, YouTube released their YouTube Shorts component of their platform, clearly to keep up with the competition of the likes of TikTok, and other technology providers like that are offering this kind of 30, 60 second. I think even the YouTube Shorts are currently, I think they're on 15 seconds. So, clearly we've got this new way of consuming technology and putting content out there. So I've done a few videos on TikTok, over the last year, but I've not done a lot with YouTube Shorts. I think it's one of those things you kind of need to fit into a niche, need to fit in with your own kind of mojo in the way that you work. But, clearly James is using that to convey some of those messages. So go and check that out and give James some support. So yeah, thanks for calling out your second DevOps journal, James. On that note, the DevOps Lab is back with a bang, and April Edwards is obviously at the helm now, running those shows, and the first episode was out the other day, and I know that April kind of kick-started with this conversation around sort of DevOps, infrastructure as code, naming strategy, things like that with Chris. So go and check that out. I managed to catch the first sort of half of that episode. I've not watched it all the way through, but it's great to see that we've got this this kind of content coming out from Microsoft in April with the DevOps Lab. So go and check that out. Fantastic content there. Yeah, Chris tweeted this out the other day. This is not kind of news now across the community, but Docker is actually updating and changing some of its existing product subscriptions. Now, I'm not sure if there was a little bit of misinformation or misunderstanding. I'm not sure, to be honest. I've read this a couple of times, and look, I only use Docker from a personal perspective anyway. So, anybody that installs Docker Desktop on their local machine and uses it for learning activity or just for, kind of running a few containers yourself, then it remains free, at the end of the day. But they put this caveat in: fewer than 250 employees and less than 10 million in annual revenue. So I believe that is a change, obviously, in terms of what that means. So you kind of have to up that to a paid for subscription if you are in a business of over 250 users. But look, the point is, this might be a drastic change for a lot of people, a lot of companies. Go and check out if you are now in the zone where you may actually have to start paying for a subscription to run Docker Desktop. So, like I say, go and check that out. Chris pointed that out the other day, and I'm just kind of pulling that up in today's episode just for people to go and have a little look at and see if it kind of applies to you. And finally, just a couple of quick call-outs. One for Jürgen. Again, I'm on my journey, the AI journey. You want to try and learn everything I need to know and go and sit that AI 102 exam. So I've noticed, obviously, Jürgen has been releasing some fantastic content on Pluralsight. So huge thanks to Jürgen. But equally, Jamie McGuire is also releasing some of the elements of the A102 exam. So fantastic to see two prevalent members of our community again putting some fantastic content out. So I've kind of taken a not an enforced break. It's just because things have gotten so busy, both with all the stuff that I'm doing from a sort of a community focused thing, and also work for me is still up there. I'm spinning many plates at the moment. So my learnings of AI 102 are kind of put on a little bit of a pause at the moment. I'm still doing little bits where I can, but I want to get back into this. So I think I'm going to turn to these Pluralsight courses, from Jürgen and Jamie, and kind of kickstart that kind of learning pathway back to where I need to get it to. So that's it, community call-outs for this week. Okie dokie. So I think what we will do now is I'm going to jump straight on in, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the Welsh Azure user group. Like I say, we've finally got the announcements of our speakers at the event. So let's just jump straight on back over to the desktop. So yes, our next event is a hybrid event. So it's an in-person event and it's a virtual event. So it's going to be an interesting concept, and undoubtedly there will be a few little hiccups or issues. I'm hoping not, but there may be, because obviously we're looking to stream this out live as well as have the in-person event down in Cardiff. So if you are able to join us, please do. We're looking to gain numbers on those coming down. But 29th of September, we've got two fantastic community members coming down. They are making the journey down to the pilgrimage back down to Cardiff to come and speak at our first Welsh Azure user group face-to-face meetup. So, obviously over COVID, we've had numerous virtual events, which have been absolutely fantastic and hugely fun to be a part of and arrange. We're now going to this hybrid event. So we've got Chris Reddington coming down to see us, and we've also got Kirk Ryan. So Chris and Kirk, like I say, they're both prevalent members of our community already. If you don't know the guys, then you go and follow them, go and say hello, go and get involved. They're doing some fantastic things across the community. Hugely excited, and grateful and thankful that they're actually coming down and joining us on the night to give us some talk. So I believe Chris is going to be talking about Azure Arc. Kirk, we've got a few ideas yet. We haven't yet cemented the actual talk topic, but it's going to be fantastic, whatever it is that Kirk talks about. So we'll get that cemented down over the next few days. So like I say, go and RSVP. Please do go and RSVP. Go and follow us on Twitter at Welsh Azure. You can get the link to this meetup page. Now, we're asking you something slightly different. Rather than just clicking on the RSVP button well, obviously, I've obviously already RSVP because I'm the organizer, so I don't see the button. Rather than just clicking on that button, if you can, click on the button if you're just going to attend virtually. So you're just going to join in the Teams call and attend and take part in the chat. That's great, absolutely fine. But if you are looking to come down in person, please click on this link here and fill in this this quick form. All we're doing is getting numbers. So just asking for your name, organisation, and email, just to get an idea of how many people are actually going to come down. And please do us a favour, if you can't make it, let us know. Obviously, we want to try and make sure somehow that we gauge exactly how many people we're expecting, and this is probably the best way we can think of doing it for now. Just purely so that we can make sure we don't hit capacity of the room, which would be a nice problem to have. But equally, we're going to get some refreshments in, so we want to make sure that we've got adequate, and we're not kind of just getting too short of refreshments or too many refreshments. We just want to try and position that right. And because this is the first event that we've done face to face as a team, it's a bit of a learning curve for us. So, like I say, go and RSVP to that. We've got Chris and Kirk Ryan coming down to speak with us. So yeah, please do go and RSVP, sign that form if you're going to come in person. Hugely excited, looking forward to seeing you all there. So yeah, on that note as well, we are looking for more speakers. So we've got a sessionize page up, a call for speakers, where if you are in the community or you're looking to do something in the speaking community, we'd love to have you. Please go and jump onto Sessionize, look up the Welsh Azure user group, or like I say, follow the Welsh Azure user group, Welsh Azure, on Twitter, and go and jump over to this call for speakers page and register your interest, because whether it's a virtual or an in-person event, we're looking for a mix. And there's a checkbox that you can actually check and say which event you'd be happy to attend, one, the other, or both. Get involved, because we are looking to organise not just this. Obviously, we've got this in-person event in September, but October, November, back into December this year. So plenty of opportunity to speak now. So go and check that out. And as always, if you have missed a session, they're all recorded. They're all in the Welsh Azure user group playlist below. So go and check those out. Huge thanks. Let's move back over to my big face camera. Okay, so I do think that we are at that time of the show where we talk about our Azure news and updates. And of course, there have been many updates this week. So without further ado, let's jump on over and take a look at the news. And we will start with our roving reporters. Let's take a look. Yes, and good afternoon. It is this week's Azure news and updates. So without further ado, we're going to jump. We've not got many roving reporters for you this week, but I know Elkhan is eager to come and give us some information on Azure Bicep. So let's start off. Elkhan, are you there?
Hi, John. Thank you for giving this opportunity to share information about Azure Bicep technology. And going forward, I'm going to share all the updates and innovations in Azure automation provisioning related topics. So today I'm going to share innovations and updates from Azure Bicep team. As you may know, they released the version 0.4.6. So version 0.5 is almost there. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll see that happening. So Bicep team had the following updates. First one is they implemented goto for resource and variable property accesses, module passes and parameters and outputs. Now you can use that feature goto there. Secondly, there are UX improvements for Bicep Visualizer. They added nice icons and themes, much nicer to use. And now we have ability to build a Bicep file from VS Code file context menu. It wasn't the case before. You have to type something in order to get the build done. And finally, they fixed some significant performance-related issues like CPU impact on linter and other kind of small things here and there. And there are much more improvements for the Bicep modules. When you use the Bicep module, you will see them right away. Okay, take care. Giving back to John. See you all, and thank you for watching.
Thanks, Elkhan. Yeah, that's some great information there and some updates from the Azure Bicep team. So yeah, go and check those out if you are looking at Azure Bicep. So huge thanks to Elkhan there for jumping on and calling that out for us. In other news, we have had an absolute plethora of announcements this week from across the Azure space. So we're going to try and touch on a few of those with some public preview announcements starting off. So looking at Azure Site Recovery, we've got some simplified disaster recovery for VMware machines, easier scale management, high availability for appliances, things like that. So and the automatic upgrades for the ASR replication. So go and check that out. That is in public preview at the moment. Equally, we've got private link UDR, so user-defined routes. Its support is now in public preview for private links. So if you do need to use UDRs, in that kind of either that traditional hub and spoke kind of topology, then then clearly, obviously the UDR support is there now if you are using private links. So go and check that out. Equally, Private Link Network Security Group has now gone into support as well, into public preview as well, which is cool to see these advancements. And we've got this new concept. Now, I've not done a massive amount of reading about this, but we've got this Azure Spring Cloud Enterprise. So they announced this back a couple of years back now, but a fully managed services for Spring Boot applications. So I've not actually come across this myself. So it's quite a new concept for me. So there is a preview out at the moment. You can sign up for the preview there on the actual website for the Azure News. And yeah, so go and check that out. But that's gone into private. It's a private preview, so take a note there. Equally, public preview, run commands for Azure VMware Solution have now gone into public preview. Yeah, and a quick retirement announcement. So if you are using the Azure AD Graph, it's actually retiring next year, so the 30th of June 2022. So go and take a look at that, and obviously to avoid any service disruptions, make sure you've got all your applications identified that are using Azure AD Graph, and get them updated to use that Microsoft Graph. And like I say, you've got just under a year, so you've got till the 30th of June to sort that out next year. So take a look. Moving on, custom AKS policy support has now gone into public preview. So if you are using AKS and you need to do some custom policies, then that is now in public preview. So go and check that out if you need to. General availability is your root server, so that ability to kind of publish and push BGP routing across from your Azure environment into your on-prem, wherever it may be. So that has gone GA now. That as your root server concept has gone GA. So you can actually start using that in Anger if you need to. And yes, this is quite an important one. So if you are running Azure AD Connect, we know that this utility gets updated on a semi-regular basis. So go and check that out. So 31st of August 2022, the latest version of AD Connect needs to be upgraded to before then. So you can see there's a few links on this article to go and do that. But if you haven't, or you're not upgrading your Azure AD Connect, get on it straight away and go and check that article out. General availability, updating policy compliance for AKS policies. Cool. Azure Machine Learning has now gone generally available in Japan West. Windows IoT Server 2022 has now gone generally available, so that's pretty cool. I might take a little look-see at that myself. And enable load balancing for IBM WebSphere on Azure virtual machines. That is also GA. Azure App Configuration now offers increased hourly request limits. It's gone up to 30,000 requests per hour in the standard tier, and that's up from 20,000 requests previously. So that's cool to see. And we've also got some change performance tiers for Azure Premium SSD, so you can change those performance tiers. I think is clearly the message on the Premium SSDs without any downtime, which is a cool addition. That's GA now as well. GA automatic key rotation of customer managed keys for encrypting Azure disks, and also Azure Monitor support for availability zones, which is now GA. Cross-service queries between Azure Monitor and Azure Data Explorer. I know that went out into public preview a couple of months back now, but that has now finally gone GA, which is cool to see. And we've also got Azure Backup, offline backup with Azure Data Box is now generally available as well. ExpressRoute news. So ExpressRoute Direct, there are new locations available. It's cool to see that Newport is actually called out on there as well. So ExpressRoute Direct is that concept of an express route that you kind of, cut out that middleman, so you as a customer and a consumer have your own dedicated line directly to the Microsoft backbone, and you can kind of you can get these dual 10 gig or 100 gig connectivity to the global network, the Microsoft global network. So we've got Denver, we've got Pune, and I don't know where Pune is, but I'm guessing Denver's Colorado. Pune, let me know where that is, or I'll have to go and have a look on Google Maps. And of course Newport in Wales, which is, like I say, just down the road from me. So cool to see. And just to wrap this up, this week's news, we've got some Azure Security Center public preview and GA announcements. So public preview in Azure Security Center, we've got Microsoft Defender for Endpoint for Linux is now supported by Azure Defender for servers. That's gone into public preview. That was a mouthful. And we've got 2 new recommendations for managing endpoint protection solutions. Again, these are links. You can read a bit more information about these. And also public preview, Security Center can now auto provision the Azure Policies Guest Configuration extension. So some cool preview announcements there for ASC. And some GA updates for this month, for August 2021. For ASC is built-in troubleshooting and guidance for solving common issues, regulatory compliance dashboard, so Azure audit reports released for GA. They've deprecated recommendation of the log analytics agent health issue should be resolved on your machines. I'm not sure why. We could click into that and understand why that's been deprecated. The Azure Defender for Container Registry now scans for vulnerabilities in registries protected with Azure Private Link. Cool. Brilliant. And recommendations to enable Azure Defender plans now support Enforce. CSV export of recommendation data now limited to 20 meg, and recommendations page now includes multiple views. Cool to see. Okay, so at the end of the day, there's our Azure news and updates for this week. Thanks so much for my roving report of this week. I hope that's been informative. Let's jump back over to Jonnychipz' big face. Okie dokie, and we are closing in on to the last section of this show. As always, each week I get up to various bits and pieces, and this week has been no different. It feels like it's been a really hectic week this week. So let's just jump back over to my desktop now, and we'll take a look at Jonnychipz on the side, what I've been up to this week. Okay, so it all starts from last week, and of course, every Friday we have an episode of In Conversation With. Last week was no different. There's me, just starting my live stream, and you'll see that I'm in my studio actually starting this live stream, and it's no secret. They are pre-recorded videos, and I stream those out on a weekly basis. But of course, with things getting back to normal over the last few months in terms of kids' activities and work-related activities, it's getting more and more difficult for me to be actually able to be physically here to live stream that out. So with a lot of help and assistance from my good friend Mr. Dean Ellaby, and thanks to Dean, I've got access to try and do that from a streaming platform now. So I'm gonna be kickstarting that off tonight. But just to reiterate the In Conversation With series, last week's guest was Gwen Pena-Seguenza. Huge thanks to Gwen. Some fantastic insights there. If you haven't watched that episode, please do go and take a little look-see, a little listen in. Go and like and subscribe to the channel. That would be hugely appreciated. And yes, thanks to Gwen for obviously stepping in for that episode last week. Huge thanks for your time on that one. And okay, so as it is the Azure Back to School this week, I thought I'd time it right with a fantastic conversation with Dwayne Netwick. That's going out this evening, 6:30 p.m. BST. So yeah, go and take a look at that. We talk about the Azure Back to School event, how it came to be and what it's up to and what it's doing at the moment. And of course, we talked to Dwayne around his career as a tech trainer, what it means and what's involved and how that came to be for Dwayne. So yeah, some really cracking insights on tonight's video. Please do join us and join in. And like I say, We are looking to stream those out to multiple platforms tonight as well. So it's not just going to be going out across the Azure Live Twitch. It's going to be on the Azure Live Twitch, the Jonnychipz Twitch, the Jonnychipz YouTube, Twitter, maybe not LinkedIn yet because they still haven't approved my license. But anyway, it's going out. I'm just doing it to try and see how that changes the reach of the show, because I've been doing this show for pretty much 8 or 9 months now, and it's got some fantastic feedback and traction. But let's face it, there's some fantastic conversations with some brilliant people across the community in this, and I just want to try and get that out there as best I can. So we're going to try that tonight, see how that breaks it down. So other news this week, obviously, if you've been following me, you would have noticed that Corsair, parent company of Elgato, have kindly sent me out some cool tech to test, set up, and play with. And you'll notice, maybe you can't quite see it here in the shot, but there it is. There's my new Wave 3 mic. You can just see in the bottom corner of this image. And yeah, they also sent me the Wave mic arm, which this low profile arm, which I've recorded a video. I've yet to edit it, but I'll be putting a little unboxing video about that. But I had the arm, and then of course, like I say, there's the microphone. You can just see the arm with my old microphone sat there in the corner. It's been super fun to kind of set that up and look at actually having a play with this microphone. And to be honest with you, it's not just so much that the microphone, it's a cracking USB microphone. So this mic is actually plugged directly into my PC, whereas before you can just see there just above the Stream Deck, I've got my little Focusrite, audio interface, which is where this XLR microphone is actually still plugged into. But it's not so much just about the mic, which is a fantastic mic, by the way, but you can just see in the background here, and I've kind of got it here, you've got this Wavelink software. So you can just see there now, as I'm talking to you, I'm coming in through the microphone and being fed out of this stream output, which in turn is being recorded by my OBS setup. But I can now split up. So if I were to, for argument's sake, change the volume of my computer, so you can see that there's some sound coming through my system sound, but you're not hearing that on this video because I've got it muted here. If I were to unmute this and then change the sound, there we go. You can start to hear it across the recording. So likewise, you can kind of split that up. So I've got any browser sounds, any voice chat like Teams or Discord, any music like iTunes or Spotify, sound effects. Sound effects is another one I've been playing with. So things like, I can, at the minute, the sound effects aren't coming out through the stream. So I can press buttons like, whatever it may be. You can see there's some noise coming out. Well, actually, that did come out through the stream. I was looking at the wrong one. But, I can mute the sound effects or play them like that, and explosions. And of course, if I tell a fantastic joke, I can always give myself that little bit of and so on and so forth. But the point is, this Wavelink software, or I could put myself with some, kind of, what do I want? Some, inspiring music. And I can kind of control the volume as I speak. So I don't quite know exactly how loud that is. Well, actually, I do, because I could put my headphones on and monitor it. But the point is, you can get a feel for splitting up all your different audio tracks. And decide what you're going to feed out to your video or your stream, or what you're not going to feed out to your video and your stream. So, to be honest with you, like I say, much in the setup of this microphone has been fantastic. And, obviously I'm speaking through it now, and I hope you'll agree, the quality is great. I'm just using the inbuilt, any noise reduction and noise cancellation. I'm not sure yet how great that is compared to what I was using before, which was the XLR mic with NVIDIA broadcast noise cancellation. So it may pick up additional sounds. I don't know. I'm going to, obviously record a few of these videos, listen back and see how they came across. But like I say, huge thanks to Elgato for sending me out this kit. So I've got the face cam up there, the new Wave 3 mic with the boom arm. You can see they also sent me the shock mount and the pop filter that sat there on the microphone. So yeah, had some fantastic fun setting that up. So thank you so much to Elgato. And on that note, they actually prompted, would you buy one of these keyboards with a Stream Deck built into an Elgato keyboard? So yeah, that's a cool concept. I don't know how true this is, or whether this is just a mock-up or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but that'll be interesting to see if that comes from Elgato. Yeah, and like I said earlier, the way that I'm pushing this, actually, I'm going to try and do this episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. You'll see if this is coming out over Twitter and Twitch, and you can also do Facebook. I won't be doing Facebook, but YouTube. Yeah, I might have a go at pushing that out now and see how I get on with that. So it may be coming out and streaming from multiple sources this lunchtime. Yes, okay, and finally, huge thank you everybody for making me pass that 600 subscriber count on YouTube. It's hugely appreciated. Even getting 1 or 2 subscribers every now and again is great, because it kind of helps with the motivation to keep creating some more content and push forward. And like I say, I do these videos purely for my own enjoyment first and foremost, and I learn so much about lots of different areas, not only the tech information that I get to speak to these fantastic people across the community, but even recording videos, setting up this kind of these new microphones, these audio processing. So there's absolutely loads that I'm digging into and learning in the time that I'm doing these videos. So huge thanks. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. It's really appreciated. I do obviously get some element of motivation for people subscribing and liking the videos and things like that. It helps me kind of keep ticking over with that. So yeah, anyway, let's call it there. Huge thanks to everybody. That will do us for this week's episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. Like I say, this has been episode number 36. So yeah, still really enjoying putting these together. We're hitting the 40-minute mark. Thanks for sticking around if you are watching it that long. I genuinely don't ever really want them to be this long, but it's just so much to say and so much to get through. So I will keep doing them to this kind of level. Like I say, there's lots of things that I'm going to tweak and test and play with over the coming weeks. So yeah, we'll call it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I've been John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz. Go and check out the Azure Back to School. Obviously that's the title of this video, so go and check all of that out now. And I will see you tonight on our In Conversation With episode, or next week on the next episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. But for now, thanks for tuning in, everyone.